Let's face it, we suck at staying in shape.
But this year, we're going to get our bodies
And our minds into a better place.
Join us on our journey to wellness.
And no matter what happens,
We'll see you in health.
Scott, do you ever get done with work and just hate the world? Just hate life?
No,
No?
I hate the work.
I can tell. I can tell.
You can tell what?
You know, part of being your friend, as long as I have, is I can tell the state of mind you're in when I see you. This morning, albeit we were exhausted. Like, neither of us just wanted to be out of bed. We wanted to pretend we didn't exist. But man, the version of Scott that I got this morning, talkative, outgoing, like you were having a good time. You were, 3 and 10, just walking up that hill, having a good time. This Scott has been broken down, has been beaten.
And scarred.
Just in a place where we can't see it.
There's no joy at the end of my day.
Wow, don't
Nothing
say
sparks
that
joy.
sentence when you see your wife when you walk in the door. Just maybe not the right words.
Funny story. My wife went to the dentist, had a cavity filled today. They had to numb half of her mouth.
Oh no.
And so she had a real, she couldn't smile.
Hey,
half of her face. And she was really upset about it. And I was like, it's probably going to go away. How long did they say it was going to last? And she said it's probably like 3 hours. And I'm like, cool. Well, has it been 3 hours? She's like, no, it's been 4. And I'm like, oh.
Listen, honey, this is just the new normal. Get used to it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, it's fine. It's fine. You could just turn completely profile when you do any Zoom calls for work. And you'll be fine.
Easy.
For Harvey Dent.
Other than being beaten like a little bitch. And I'm talking about myself. How was the rest of your week?
Gluttonous. Yeah, that's a good word.
Nice.
It's a good word to describe it. I didn't eat very well. Oh, I mean, some would argue I ate too well. But I had a lot of celebrations. My aunt was in town, so we went out to dinner.
Just the two of you?
A friend got with my mom and my wife.
Nice.
I ate a lot of potatoes that day.
I feel like, hold on, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, I don't mean to distract you, but anytime I look at the calorie count on potatoes, like mashed potatoes,
yes,
it's pretty good, unless it's filled with butter.
And cream and salt. Not that I had that, but I had hash browns. Oh, and I went out to lunch with my uncle. I went out to dinner with my aunt. A friend of ours got married, so we went to lunch at a taqueria. So we just ate really well this week. And
Tim Walls, that's where we eat tacos.
And the calorie count was just a little bit higher. Did I feel bad? Absolutely not. But at the same time, I knew I wasn't participating in the regular practices that I had set for myself in the previous week. And I knew that something was going to change on the scale, and probably not in the way that I wanted it to go. How was your week?
Ooh, God, that is a good question. There's a few things that I want you to be aware of. Number 1, nobody shoved a finger up my butt this week. All in all.
Hold on. Sorry. I didn't
win.
mean to clap.
Oh.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
Second,
Did they use it like a jug, like a little moonshine jug? Go, ooh, ooh.
Did I ever tell that story here?
You have not told any butt stories on this podcast.
Listen, years ago.
Can I tell it?
You tell your side and I'll tell my experience at the doctor's office.
What's your favorite scene in all of movie history where it's just raining?
It's the scene in The Matrix when the blonde girl sitting on her knees looking up at the camera goes, "Not like this."
No, it's raining, like literally raining. Like in The Matrix, it could be when Neo fights Smith in that hole.
Oh, sure. Mine would be the love scene in The Notebook.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that scene's playing. And then for my side of the story, from what I remember Willy telling me all about it several years back, if you look on the credits, his ass was the rain.
No, I might have exaggerated a little bit back then. It was not that. It was more like, you remember the movie Carrie?
That poor girl.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well,
needless to say, Willy did not have a second date.
I have become an adult, and as an adult, I think that it's important to go see a doctor, be healthy. And so I show up at this doctor's office, and
important.
I've shared this with my wife, and so I just want everybody to be on the same page that this is the exact language I've used with her, not hiding anything. But I show up to the doctor's office, and in the waiting room is old people, a guy in a wheelchair, a woman who I'm surprised was not dust, and me. And I'm like, is this the right place? So opens up the door, was a Victoria's Secret model. 6'2", blonde hair, Norwegian, just got off the plane from Paris, just finished her Olympic run.
Lingerie, top to bottom.
A very symmetrically attractive woman. And goes, "Hey, follow me." And she, by the way, she's like 24 years old. So follow me.
She didn't even have to say follow me. You would have followed her just to get out of that room.
She was like the Pied Piper for lonely men. And so I made it into the room. She takes my blood pressure, all that fun stuff, and she leaves. And I was like, oh, thank God. I'm already uncomfortable enough knowing what's about to happen. And in comes my doctor, the nicest 24-year-old, fresh out of college, physical assistant, incredibly smart, because the way she spoke to me was like trying to like prove her place in the world, and she didn't really need to because she was that smart. You know what I mean? Like when you feel like you know you're qualified, but you're going to speak to that level so people feel that confidence. I didn't hear a word she said. Please just do what you need to do. And she goes, all right, I'm going to have you lay down here on your side. You can put this sanitary pad over the top of your
body.
And she goes, and my assistant's going to come in here and help me out as well. And so in comes Dr. Fitness Model. Same one, same person.
There's a lot to unpack here.
So Scott, I had she starts by saying, we're going to take a visual inspection.
Yeah. Let's open the curtain.
That's what I felt. Back. This is what I felt.
You have to. This is an audio show as well, Willy. You have to explain to the audience. Willy is making a.
It's Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective,
Part 2, where he's being born by the rhino.
Yep, that was just the woman's hands. And so, anyways, she goes in there and goes, "Here's Johnny," and says, "Hey, everything looks fine." And now.
She didn't yell hello, hello, and count the echoes. Nothing.
And now I'm gonna push the button. And so and the most uncomfortable part was when she goes, "Okay, so now can you push like you're trying to let out a bowel movement? Okay, great. Can you squeeze like you're trying to hold my finger?" And I was like, "There's got to be a different way to say that." I don't understand. And then the camera. And that was the most uncomfortable part because all I could hear was And like I just had to be a void into my soul. But I'm all
Wait,
good.
Darth Vader was inside your ass.
Yes.
Hey, one episode in the future, because I suppose it's only fair. I'll talk about my embarrassing internal invasion.
Yours happened from the front. Was yours also a woman?
Kind of, but let's save that for another episode.
I don't know what kind of means. We'll talk about that later.
Half and half. 50-50. I don't know.
Cool. Scott, speaking of things that are uncomfortable, I've got two relatively related stories related to health and wellness. Do you want
Adjacent?
Yeah. Do you want the more comfortable or the less comfortable?
I think we should keep rolling with less comfortable. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I feel pretty good.
All right. Well, after this, you might feel a little different because from Men's Health this week, there is an article that said the ultimate training plan for a stronger, healthier penis.
Hold up. Are we talking cock push-ups?
Correct.
Because that was on that body chart that we had. We talked about so much at the beginning of the show. It was the last one. We never got there.
No, we never did it. Oh man,
come on, no hands.
What I love about this article, by the way, Men's Health, just well done here. Fitness routine usually conjures up whatever gets you more endurance or stronger muscles, but devoting a little time to a few routines and developing new habits can also result in a stronger, healthier. Think of it as a third leg.
And I do.
Scott, this article is broken up into how to optimize if you're basically fine, sort of fine, not fine.
All I know how to do is you put the ring over the end, and you like tie it to a kettlebell, and then
you saw that video in the early 2000s that I did. Yes.
Yeah, just up, down, up, down.
Oh
up,
no,
down.
my video is very different than that.
And if you want, you can lay down and do a side plank, and then same thing, like up, down, up, down. You got to get the full prehensile thing going.
You've got a different experience than I do, so I think you're more than fine. Now, as somebody who would love to have children in their life, I'm not talking about me here, I'm talking about Scott. They say that if everything's working great and you want to keep it that way, well, guess what, Scott? The best thing you could do, increase that frequency. Go to town, brother. They say that a healthy habit, this is doctors, by the way, not just teenage boys writing
Willy.
this stuff. Try your best to keep yourself high and tight at least once a day.
You're supposed to go to Boner Town once a day?
Or
are we talking like the full family vacation?
Well, they say if you're struggling a little bit to just like, cross the finish line, like if that's the thing where like, it's like you gotta take performance enhanced.
This is a health show. We can use actual anatomically correct language.
Oh, okay, good. If you've noticed that you're having a hard time maintaining an erection or reaching orgasm without, say, watching certain videos on the internet, then you might want to try, their words, not mine,
chewables.
An orgasm ban. We call it No Nut November. During sex, even for a day, because this shifts the focus away from the endpoint and towards the pleasure. Meaning you get more practice, more reps at flexing the muscle.
Let me just see if I understand this correctly. You have to run it up the flagpole, raw dog, with no visuals other than your own imagination?
In order to test how well you're able to keep focused, yes.
Okay, all right. You're supposed to do this once a day?
Most doctors that study this say that if you want to have the most fertility, once a day, cross the finish line.
Once again, just say it like they say it in the article.
You got to finish, dude. Once a day. Otherwise, the life expectancy of those little guys is not very long. And
All right, so what Willy is struggling to say
I didn't
is you have
struggle
to
at all.
masturbate and ejaculate once a day.
Correct.
Use your big words.
Okay, now if you're sort of fine, Scott, I'm looking at you here, buddy.
I will talk about anything that you want to talk about after we discuss this whole thing. We'll give our own experiences here.
Okay.
But I got to hear more.
This says how to optimize if you're sort of fine. So things like you're struggling to keep it up, maybe a little bit of bladder leakage.
Like incontinence?
Is that
Like,
I thought incontinence was shitting yourself, like a little bit of juice coming out.
I don't know what hole leaks with incontinence, but I know it's one of them.
Okay, whatever it is, if you pee a little bit, like if you're struggling with it.
So, like, you can't hold all the pee in all the time.
Correct. Or maybe it feels like you got to pee all the time. Maybe it's a little like, oh, there's a little extra there.
I take a diuretic, so I am not a stranger to having to pee with frequency.
Well, Scott,
Especially as somebody who drinks a gallon of water a day.
Kegel exercises. The only thing you need to know about being sort of fine here is if you're there, you need to tighten the muscle that stops your pee midstream for 3 seconds, relax for 3 seconds, and repeat 10 times. Aim to do 3 sets a day.
So, pee, hold it, and apparently it's pronounced Kegel.
Oh, okay. Well,
Spelled Kegel, but pronounced Kegel.
I've always pronounced it Kegel, and I've practiced them for a while.
So you pee, you hold it, you pee and you hold it?
No. It says flex the muscles you would use when peeing. You don't have to do it when you're peeing.
Oh.
Scott's doing it right now. I can see it in his eyes.
I am.
And I can feel it. That's weird. Okay. Lastly, oh God, I didn't hear it. Lastly, what do you do if you're not fine? This says you can't maintain it. You can't maintain an erection, and you've got the urge to urinate all the time.
Should probably go see a doctor.
Step number 1, go see a doctor. Step number 2, if drip describes your latest bathroom trip, you may have benign prostate hyperplasia, usually innocuous, yet annoyingly enlarged prostate glands. The good news, there's a lot of treatments. You can get some supplements, but please go see a doctor because I'm not a professional. This one might surprise you, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
If you're having a hard time staying hard, maybe it's your attitude, stress. And people that are suspiciously jealous of others' manhood. We've seen Thor in the gym. It says suspicious jealousy concerning others' manhood tends to have higher levels of erectile dysfunction.
Interesting.
Never knew that. And lastly, there's
never knew
pills for
that
that,
either,
man.
yeah.
There's pills. Everybody advertises. Yep.
Yep.
Well, so there you go, man. If those of you listening have ever thought, what is it like to have a penis? That's it.
That's what we go through every single day, and it's pretty easy, for the most part. I thankfully don't have any erectile dysfunction issues.
Same.
I have gone and had my prostate examined. It is slightly enlarged compared to average size, but that is something that can be genetic. That is something that can be, like you said, treated if it got worse. I've been to the doctor twice, and he's like, "Don't worry about it. You don't look. Things aren't bad enough for me yet, so I'm still healthy."
Nice, dude. There you go. I'm right there with you. No, nothing. No worries here.
But I have noticed that the frequency of once a day is, it's just like another form of exercise at this point. It's like I'm going to the gym every day. I'm tired when I get home. I just want to sleep. I don't want to exercise more.
I don't want to do it, guys. Well, Scott, provided it is consensual, you could just ask, can I just lay here?
No, I'm tired. I don't stop touching me. And I say that to anybody who's around, including myself. Go to bed. I have to get up at 5 a.m. Go to bed.
Get the fuck off me. Do it in your own dreams. Not now.
I don't even want to have sexy dreams, because then it's like, how, I mean, do I have to drive around the gym a couple times to get the boner to go away? Like,
the worst part is you wake up and you're like, man, it was leg day yesterday, and now all I can think about is just taking care of business, but all I want to do is sleep.
It's a struggle.
Yep.
Struggle is real. All right, what's the less awkward?
Okay, the less
article
awkward
that you have.
Yeah, exactly. The less awkward one is something that you and I have been actively working on as part of our gym routine. So 30 minutes on the treadmill at a 10 incline and a speed of 3. What are we trying to impact by doing that?
Our ass.
Nice.
Have you not noticed an improvement?
I wasn't looking. I wasn't I wasn't trying. Now I will.
Did your doctor notice an improvement? Should have asked. Since I'm back there, I've been working on the glutes. What do you think?
Well, when it came down to the time where it was like, hey, can you squeeze? She goes, okay, that's enough. My response was, my dad always said I was a tight ass.
She probably said like, damn, broke a nail.
Oh, God, that's why it hurt for a while. So what I'm talking about here is improving your VO2 max.
Which is, I'm dumb. I don't know what that means. Those are letters in the alphabet, but they're not in the right order, Willy.
Okay. VO2 max is, oh God. I'm trying to find the proper way to define this because it's a very weird metric. The specific metric is milliliters per kilogram per minute of oxygen used in your blood.
Nerd. I think you should say that one more time. Milliliters
Per kilogram per minute.
per kilogram per minute.
I'm going to simplify this because everybody they're like, okay, 30 minutes in, done.
Yep.
VO2 max measures the capacity of your body to consume oxygen during a given exercise. This is from Nat Geo, by the way. Big Disney up there.
We're trying to go, if we increase our VO2 max, we can go harder, better, faster, stronger.
Right, because your muscles get less fatigued slower. I think of Michael Phelps in the Olympics. His ability for his muscles to come back to a set of normal, right? Get rid of that lactic acid, stay performing at a high level, is just better than ours.
Because of dino DNA.
What do you know about VO2 max?
It's the thing where you breathe. You're breathing in, and you're breathing out, and it's how much you can do that because when you breathe in, you're pulling in oxygen, and then your lungs, using magic, push the oxygen into your bloodstream, and then also with magic, your blood eats the oxygen with a fork and spoon, because some like it with a spork. But they didn't have any sporks, so they just had to buy 2 separate sets of cutlery. And then you sweat.
No notes. The only thing I want to add here is VO2 max is in a really important metric in 2 ways. Like if you look back at the early 2000s, athletes track this. You would see them on a treadmill with one of those, like, a CPAP mask running. They were trying to measure how quickly they consume oxygen. But then you also have somebody who's going through like cardiovascular disease. They're going to test that as well.
Oh.
But it's not just for them. VO2 max is a vital health and longevity indicator. And so what they say is that increasing your VO2 max by just a few percentage points increases your life expectancy from all causes by 10%.
So it is like a spaceship show, and your shields. You got your shields blocking you against cosmic rays and rare asteroids and meteorites and other spaceships firing on you. Your VO2 max is that shield that protects your body.
It is.
And the higher yield you can get out of that VO2 max, the stronger your shields are against everything.
Let me read a couple of sentences from this Nat Geo article. This doctor adds that it's the best predictor of future health outcomes, including early mortality, cardiovascular disease, and even Alzheimer's. They say having a low VO2 max, low is bad, you want to have a high VO2 max, has about the same cardiovascular risk as smoking. There's a ton of research to support this. The American Heart Association recommends incorporating this into clinical evaluation, but it says even slight increases in VO2 max can significantly impact longevity and health. For every millimeter per kilo per minute increases your personal baseline, you decrease, on average, your risk of all causes of mortality, which means dying from anything, heart disease, stroke, cancer, dementia, infections, by 10%.
Is there a magic number we can hit where we become immortal?
I don't know if there's a maximum.
If we just become pure oxygen, we never die.
Now, I say all of this to burst your bubble a little bit.
Oh, no.
At the end here, let me just start with the thing that I was going to end with, which is how, Scott? How do you increase your VO2 max, huh? This doctor suggests aiming for 150 to 300 minutes of aerobic exercise per week, which on average is 22 to 42 minutes 7 days a week, which we do.
I was trying to do some math. Do we do it? I mean, like, let's say we're at 20 minutes, 7 times that's only 140 minutes.
But we do 30 minutes.
I know, but we're not at 10 immediately. We get to 10 minutes.
It just says aerobic exercise.
I'm still scared.
Now, Scott, I know you're scared. And the problem is I should never have brought this article up because Scott's going to be like, we're going to be on the treadmill here for 45 minutes.
You're damn right.
I want to counteract this because Scott's biggest fear is he does not want to die.
Dying.
Ever. Scott, there's a British long-distance runner named Paula Radcliffe.
Hi, Paula.
She previously held the women's marathon world record. Her VO2 max was 70 milliliters per kilogram per minute.
So weird.
Scott, in 1990, in 1995, and 2003, when she set the record, despite her VO2 max being constant. Your performance can increase. Your muscles can get bigger. Your health can get better. VO2 max is an indicator, not the indicator. And so what we need to continue to do is stay on the trajectory, understand that abs are made in the kitchen, muscles come from lifting weight, heavy weight.
And if you want to look like Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine, you gotta stop drinking water.
Fuck.
Okay, hold on. You said her VO2 max was 70?
70.
Can we pull up our fitness results on our computers right now?
It's definitely going to be in the health app. It's something that let's prepare for next episode and come with some receipts here, okay?
All right.
Speaking of receipts, let's end this show by talking about the progress we made last week.
I am ready. I am willing. Willy, last week we said, hey, whoops, we forgot to weigh ourselves. Let's make sure we do it this upcoming Monday. even though we know it was going to be a short week.
Oh, yeah.
Couple days we're missing compared. And so next week might be more accurate. But we're going to start with weight. We'll go into skeletal muscle mass. And then we'll finish with percent body fat. So my weight went up. Remember how I lost that cool pound last week? Ugh. I got it. It came back. Don't call it a comeback. It's been there for 3 out of the last 8 weeks.
Did it say in the app at all where this came from? Was this water weight? Was it muscle?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that with the next one.
So just the basics here. Last week, my weight was the worst I've seen it in a while. It was like 225. Scott, I dropped my fat ass down to 222. I dropped 3 pounds in a week.
Starving works. I told you.
It does. It's great.
You lost 3 pounds in 1 week?
Hell yeah, I did.
I'll be very interested to see what happens next week.
And hey, here's the deal. I do have some other receipts here. My muscle mass increased by a full pound. And
that's the goal.
And I dropped 4 pounds in body fat.
That math works.
That's what happens when you stop eating Taco Bell, Willy, you fat fuck. But it was so good.
I went from 206 to 207 because I gained a pound of muscle.
Hey, man, that's a win, especially when it's all in your ass.
Yeah. And I lost body fat.
Dude, that's a win. Body composition is also a win.
I know. I still don't like the way it looks.
I know.
Because I'm plateauing, and I thought maybe with this new, climbing hills that we're doing would affect things. And the previous 2 weeks, I did lose a lot. But this body comp thing I've never done before. So I'm not used to it. And I just have to get my head in the right space and know that I am worth it. I am good enough. I'm smart enough. And sometimes people like me, even though it may not be myself.
I
want to do what you did. Maybe not starve myself, but
no, man, it works. It's easy.
Do you know how much money you save?
You have no idea. And if you starve yourself, you have less trips to the doctor where they stick something up your ass.
That's true. Why?
Because you're pooping less?
Yeah, but you starved yourself and then you still had to go to the doctor.
Yeah, no, I starved myself for stress, and I went to the doctor for stress?
Next time you're at your therapist's office, just be like, hey, I saw this other doctor the other week and they did this one thing. I was wondering if we could do it. Is this a service you include?
Now, pick one.
So how did you feel with the short week?
Yeah,
I know you were struggling with eating, but has that changed in a few days? Has it gotten better? Has it gotten worse?
I think that the thing that's going to kill me fastest is not necessarily my weight. It is the stress. And so I want to talk about this later, not right now, but I started seeing a new therapist, and it has been the most helpful therapy I've done. I was so inspired leaving the last session that I bought a journal, not being asked. But I specifically said, I'm going to go buy a journal specifically to write down all the stuff we talk about, because I feel like there's so many things that I can action on personally, and I'm inspired to do that. And the other thing is, I've never cried in therapy except for this every time. And so it's working.
It's working. And that's also helping you lose weight. That water weight's just coming off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, that's good. I'm proud of you. Papa's proud of you.
Now, if
Hi,
you need me
Larry.
if you need me to help you lose some weight.
I need you to help me get into therapy, honestly.
Oh, I know somebody.
I know her too.
Not my wife.
But you're a person. I think I'm at the point where I should go. I have tried it once. It was okay, but I don't think it was the right person for me at the end of the day. And so I want to try and cry. I only cry when, Willie?
When you're watching sad movies, sad
And
TV
funerals.
shows,
Yeah.
and funerals, but nothing
I don't
else.
watch enough of those. Yeah, I don't watch enough of those things, thankfully, to like get enough of the emotion from tears. And like crying sometimes feels good in a way, like it's catharsis or it's just like stress and physical manifestation. So I just want to work on things, work on all things, be a better man, better person. And yeah, like there's just not enough good sad movies anymore. I can only watch The Notebook so many times before I'm like, here's what's gonna happen, and then she's gonna get the thing, and then the rain is Willie's ass. Like I've seen it. It doesn't do anything for me anymore.
Fine, I get it. I'm making an autobiography. It's gonna be the saddest shit anybody's ever watched.
The saddest shit I've ever taken by Willie Max.
We discovered it. Next week's episode, you guys get to see the director's cut of my ass.
Oh, and with that, thank you so much for making it this far if you did, because, oh boy, you earned a gold star today. We appreciate you. We love you. We are here for you. If you have questions, send them on into the show. There's at subforthat.com.
Scott meant to say brown star, but I'll let it slide. And with that, we will see you in health.